Going.
All right. Hey, everybody.
Hello, hello. So excited to be here. I think I can even take my glasses off for this because I don't think I need to see
Special
anything.
edition of Tracy TV with
Yay!
Lisa Blaisdell.
Oh my God. So yes, you've got Lisa Blaisdell and Tracy TV at the same time. This is so fun.
Worlds colliding. East meets the West. I mean, come on. It's just
That's right. It's an East Coast, West Coast kind of situation right now. Oh,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
good to be here.
Hope you guys are doing well. We're super excited to be here. This is a topic that we are really just, we've been reflecting, and we have such similar backgrounds in so many different things. I just think it's so cool how the universe brings people together and brings women together. And we just wanted to share a really important conversation that may help you if you are in a season of life where you are not sure if you should keep pressing on or if you should quit. And so Trace, let's like, tell people who you are if they, for whatever reason, don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to go back a little because I think this is like, tell a little bit of our whole story. So yeah, I'm Tracy Pontarelli. I live in New York City. You might hear a siren go by. I'm in my daughter's room because she left for college and I'm missing her. I grew up in Rhode Island. I now live in Manhattan. I had a really successful career in public relations and brand marketing for years. And I'll tell you, if you had asked me before I had kids, if I would ever have stayed home, I would have told you were crazy. My mom was a single mom. She worked 3 jobs. I was determined to be 100% independent no matter what. And I would have, really was determined to kill myself in order to make that reality. And we'll go back to this, but I did leave that career. I stayed home for a few years. I pivoted and turned to health and wellness because it's something I'm super passionate about, and found myself in another season with careers. And then I just made another shift again to move again. So yeah, that's my background. Lisa, you go.
So we have a lot in common, considering that we live on different sides of the country currently, but I grew up in New Hampshire, so I'm a New England girl as well, and also had a career in public relations, really focused on the journalism side. And I had that career for 13 years. I launched right out of college, moved to Manhattan, lived on the Upper West Side, and, just, and same as Tracy. If you had asked me if I would ever not have my career in PR, I did not know what that would even look like, because I couldn't imagine myself not having that career, not, having the pace that I was on, going on press tours, meeting with reporters all over the East Coast and the West Coast. And I just could not imagine. But as many of you moms know, those babies come and it radically changes every part of who you are as a woman. And it did for me. And so I hung in there. I like, was like, can't quit, can't quit, can't quit, can't quit. And a lot of it, honestly was financial. We had built a lifestyle around my income, which was quite healthy. And I had made it work, right? We're so good at making it work, us women. I had the nanny full time. I had, the preschool going on when that was time. I had made it work, and I was able to transition to work at home part-time. This is when working from home was not a thing in the late 90s. I mean, it was a huge leap of faith, and the company that I worked for did not like it. They did not like that I was basically demanding that I work at home 3 days a week. It made them all extremely uncomfortable. I mean, it's hard to believe that that was, a little over 20 years ago, at least 23. And it's just so radical how we've changed. So we definitely have a similar background. We definitely have a similar mindset. And that's why we wanted to share with you our perspectives, because, Tracy was raised in these hard working class families where you don't quit. I mean, you don't quit. My dad still works, bless his heart, 71 years old, gets up every day and, does really hard manual physical labor. And we're in a society, especially right now, where you just don't quit. Like
Right.
we hear these messages every day. So Trace, talk about that a little bit. I mean, it's like
I
we're
think,
always getting that.
right. I think there's this really negative connotation about, being a quitter, right? And there's reasons to quit. This is when we're saying, like, when is it time to, like, quit or give up? And I think this is where we really come down to is sometimes the hardest decision is to decide that it's no longer serving you and you're not living up to your full potential. And so I'll just say, like, the first time that I decided to step away from public relations, my kids were super little. My husband works in finance. We had two babysitters working different shifts. No one was in charge of anything. And I can remember the day I went into work. I was working on a new business pitch. It was a Saturday. It was Valentine's Day. And I left my family, and my daughter wished me a happy Valentine's Day as I left for the office on a Saturday. And it was like a moment where I thought, what am I doing? Like, life is going to pass me by because I won't quit. And I wasn't happy. I wasn't doing anything to the best of my ability. I loved my work, but I couldn't make it all work. It wasn't all working. Like, and they say that, right? You can do it all. You can't do it all at the same time. You can't do it all at the same time. And it became crystal clear to me. So that was my real moment. I had no idea what I was going to do next. I just knew I needed to give it a hot second. How did you decide that first time?
So this is so good. I mean, it's so interesting that you have that story. So I have two things that was leading up to this. The first thing was, of course, the day that changed all of our lives, and that's September 11th. And I was in Boston on a press tour, still nursing Sophie, who was only 9 months old at the time. I had okay, men, don't freak out here. I had a breast pump with me because I was keeping that up. I mean, I was gonna nurse that baby till she was at least 1 year old. I was not quitting nursing.
With me.
Oh my gosh. I got stuck in Boston. Thankfully, I was with a lovely client who let me have the car. I drove to my parents' house in Boston. Thank God I could just hang out with them and just feel, supported during the most traumatic time that we had ever been through up until that time. And I hung out there and just was like trying to pump, all week long. So that obviously changed my life. And I thought, okay, I can't keep sustaining at this. However, I didn't quit right away. And it was a few years later when my aunt, who I'm really close to, we're like sisters. She's also been in PR for most of her life. And we had a visit and she said, Lise, we need to talk about your stress levels because you're like at the breaking point. And, sometimes it takes another person. It takes a trusted friend or, a loved one, a mom, something, a sister to say, what is going on with you? Like you are not yourself. And that really gave me pause. And it led me on a path where I ultimately, took a huge leap of faith. I started freelancing. So I said goodbye to my corporate income. I started freelancing, right? I'm sure you did too, Trace. We haven't even talked about this. So I took on some work so that I could, pay the rent basically. And I fell into an industry that I've now been in for 18 years, fell into it, wasn't looking for it, didn't even know what it was, didn't even know that it was an industry, a business. And I completely pivoted my skills and my excitement and my passion for working and helping others into health and wellness. And that was, 18 years ago. I mean, it's just crazy how when you're open to doing new things, when like, okay, I've got to make a change, but you're not even sure what that looks like. It's like God in the universe just opens up the opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
The funny story. So my sister, I would always say like, things are going to get better after like something. And she's like, you do realize that you always say that. She's like, yep. Okay. So we're going to now talk about, because I think, so that's a huge shift. So if any of you are thinking about leaving what you're doing right now and you just know it's not working anymore, I think we both just want to be here as friends to say it will work out.
Yeah.
And if you trust your instincts and know that you are capable, talented people,
Yeah.
you are an employable human with a lot of talents. And
Yeah.
so if you want to make a shift, I mean, I don't want you to leave your paycheck and put yourself in financial distress, but there's going to be other opportunities for you. And just because you started in one thing does not mean that is what you are destined to do for the rest of your life. And I will say both of us know our skills come in super handy still. But we
Yeah.
both pivoted to this, to health and wellness. And I think people know I'm a personal trainer and a wellness coach. And I found my way into the same business that Lisa and I had both been in. And I'll just say this about Lisa because I'd love to hear her thoughts on this. She was hugely successful in this business, and was it still is like so widely respected, but had a huge successful business. There was nothing on paper that was quote unquote wrong with anything, and so I really admire this, and I think this is the other thing is when things are really broken, it's easier to be like, you know what, I can't live like this anymore.
Right.
It's harder to do it when everything's fine, but you're not maybe like fully fulfilled in a way. So tell me now, Lisa, we just made like a big shift in our
Yeah.
own careers.
Yeah.
What's going on in your head?
Yeah.
This
So I think two things, and I think this is really interesting. And, I was about 34, I think 33. Well, no, I was like 34 years old when I transitioned out of PR. And I have to say, like, I trusted myself. I trusted my gut. I've made a lot of big moves in my life. I left the East Coast and, did a lot of things. And I trusted myself enough to know that I was capable of taking on a new career and thriving. Because to me, for me, that's the only option. Like, that's it. And so I trusted myself enough, but I have to say, at almost 53, I know myself better. I trust myself better. And I'm more aware of what really truly makes me happy and where I need to be in order to reach my full potential. And I have to say that for the last, several years, I have spent way too much time beating myself up for not really living into my potential and really trying to figure out what is wrong with me, what is wrong with what I'm a part of. And like nothing was wrong, but I was dissatisfied with my lack of just continuing to thrive and reach my potential. And I know we see the quotes, we read the books, we do all the things, but we truly have unlimited potential. And I think at my age now, I feel like this is it. Like, if I don't make a change and really go for what my full potential is, I'll never know. Like, I'll never know what I could have done and the impact that I could have made. And the other thing that I think is significant is that when I was in my 30s, it was kind of all about me. I wanted to be home with my kids. I wanted to raise them on my terms. I wanted to have that freedom of time and that flexibility. And I did that. And I got that. And I am so grateful. And, my kids are, all grown too. And Sophie's at college. And now it's like, I want that for other women. And honestly, and I know you do too, Tracy, and that's why I show up every day in the way that I do and take the hits and, work on myself harder than I ever have, because at this phase of my life, I want to help more women have what I had and have the level of success and fulfillment that they are deserving of and that they're capable of.
Oh, I love it. And there's so many things that you said there, but I'll say this is the thing. Lisa and I have been doing so much work on ourselves and our checking in on our energy and are we lined up, energetically with where we want to go. And when you start doing that kind of work, it becomes crystal clear when you are blocking yourself from your potential. And it can be terrifying, right? Absolutely terrifying to be like, but I know for me, I had a moment where I just knew, same thing. I just knew that I was not living up to the kind of difference I can make for people.
Yeah.
And I feel the same. I mean, this is something we feel so strongly about. We want to help. We really want to help everyone, but particularly moms. And
Yeah.
like, I want to help everybody, but moms, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, we do have a heart for moms. I have a heart for moms.
And the women, because there's, you know, there's just, we put so much on ourselves, and we have to be creative and figure out ways that we can create opportunities for ourselves in a way that works for us and our priorities and what's important to us. And so, and help and take care of ourselves and be healthy and to like take care of ourselves. And so that's the stuff that I think we feel so strongly about. So, and I think we probably should just like leave it with a few things, and we'll maybe go back to this, but I think like if I could leave you with one piece of advice is, you know, do the work to really get inside to the internal knowing versus the voices that are in your head that are telling you why it won't work, why it's not a good idea. Like really do the work to sit and think about what it is energetically that you want. Right. And is what you're doing getting you to what you want. And I always say this, we have like a really short window on this planet. So it's our job to keep trying to move towards that in however we can. So what would be your final tip for
So I want to say two things. You said such lovely things about me. And what I want to say is that what I've observed, and this is, you know, this is important for everyone to know. Since you have pivoted and have made this change in the last 3 months, Tracy, I see a completely different Tracy Pontarelli. I mean, honestly, I mean, you are thriving at a level that I never experienced with you before. And I knew how talented you are, how gifted you are, just how brilliant you are in so many different areas. And now I'm just seeing it unfold. And it's so awesome because it's a testament to that when you do follow your heart, follow that instinct, you know, make challenging and even really hard decisions, it's like you just blossom. I mean, you have completely blossomed. So I want to say that. And I agree that, you know, and I know it's so hard. And I know we're talking to busy women and we're talking to busy moms. It's so hard to find the time to really be quiet. And that's why I really hung on to both careers that I had previously, because I was just so in the do and the work, especially when I was in corporate. I was just grinding and my kids were so little and I just could not even get a thought of my own. Like it just didn't exist. And I just really will encourage you, women, to find whatever lifts you up, whether it's an early morning yoga class or a meditation or just locking yourself in the closet. I know a lot of women with young moms right now in the last 6 months, I'm sure you've had to do that, but just to really be quiet with yourself. And I've found, you know, journaling for me has been a staple in my life since I was in college. It has helped me sort out how I'm feeling about myself. And it's really been a really therapeutic practice. So whatever it is for you that just really helps you get clear on what it is that you want, I just want to support you in that effort and just encourage you to take that time, because I was a martyr for way too long. I'm sure, Tracy, you were as well. I can do it all. I can do it all. I don't have time. I still say that to my husband. It's like such a bad, repetitive thing. I don't have time. I don't have time. It's like we really do have to take those moments for ourselves because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself.
Right.
So that's my
right.
encouragement.
Right. Time is actually all we have. And so it's us to decide how to use it. So, comment below. We want to hear your thoughts. If you want to reach out to either one of us about this, if anything resonated with you, please do. And know that we're coming back. We've got so many fun things planned for this fall. Yeah, we have something really good planned for people that we're going to offer in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned and keep in touch. And we're rooting for you. All right, Lisa, I love you.
Love you. Mwah. This was great. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.